Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a full body clip on my mare Callie, and here's a few tricks and tips I use along the way. So the clippers I'm using are by ANDIS, and they are a 1-speed clipper. I don't think they make these anymore, but they're pretty quiet, and they've lasted probably about 4 or 5 years now through a lot of clip jobs. I'm starting off on the chest and neck area, just something I used to do back in the day when my clippers weren't exactly reliable. In case they broke like halfway through the job, I would at least have the important part of the horse clipped, where the horse sweats a lot and retains a lot of its heat in its chest and neck area. So I usually start there. And I'm really paying attention to the horse's body language here. I can tell Callie, who is usually pretty calm about getting clipped, is a little bit uneasy, so I know that my blades might be getting a little bit dull and pinching her a bit. So I'm going to take a break here and change my blades out with a fresh pair, oil them, make sure they're working well, and then start back up on her. I don't want her to have a bad attitude this early on, so I want to make sure she's as comfortable as can be. I'm trying to take really long strokes with each pass with the clippers. This will reduce the amount of lines I'll have to go over later to even everything out. And you'll notice that I'm switching back and forth between my left hand and my right hand. Some of the angles are just better with one hand or the other. It's like impossible to do this side of the neck with your right hand, so it's helpful to practice using both hands. So I'm always clipping against the grain, and you can see Callie's hair at least grows this way on her neck. So I'm clipping downwards at the main level and then towards her face as I get further down her neck. So I'll get a closer shave, of course, if I'm going against the grain, but times when I will go with the grain would be when I'm trying to blend, like on her face, or for hunt horses or any type of horses that really aren't getting their legs or faces clipped and need blending, so there's not such a sharp line. I'm doing Callie's face pretty early on into this clip job because I want to make sure that she's not too antsy at this point. If I wait until the end to do her face, she gets pretty antsy and it's sometimes difficult. I'm using my body clippers still. I'm going to use them for the entire horse, which I know is a little unconventional, but I do not have working small clippers at this point, and Callie is generally really well behaved. So I'm going to use body clippers on her face, again going against the grain, which can be difficult since the hair grows in all sorts of directions across the face. I'm going to use them for her ears, and I'm going to use them for her legs, which I unfortunately forgot to video any of, but I will explain what I do. But as you can see, I'm not going to go terribly close to her eyes, of course, especially with clippers this big. Because she's mostly white-ish gray, it's easier to blend closer to her eyes, but some of the bays and chestnuts, you can see a drastic color change exactly where you stopped clipping. So with that situation, I would flip the clippers around and go with the grain as I get closer to places like the eyes or bony areas to help it blend a little bit better. You're not going to get a close clip, but the color change won't be as drastic. I am doing her jawline. She gets quite the unicorn beard, we like to call it, but I'm going to leave her whiskers alone because I'm not doing any rated shows, any really big shows at all this fall or winter. I'm just going to be doing some fox hunting and a couple of starter horse trials. So nothing that she really needs the whiskers clipped for. I like to leave them on as much as possible. I'm going to do her ears, again going against the fur, which for the outside of the ears is going to be towards the center, and then starting at the tip of the ear and going down towards her body. For the inside of her ears, again, I don't need a really close shave for what we're doing, so I'm going to close the ear and then just go down the outside so it's a little cleaner without actually doing any of the inside of the ear. Proper way to clip around the tail. You actually want to leave sort of like this triangle appearance. You can see I start kind of big. Watching the horse's body language, she was unhappy with a fly on her, but I was backing up just in case. And then I am refining that triangle a bit more so it's not quite so prominent. See right about where I start clipping is where the hair is going to start changing directions and go up and then go towards her hind end. So I'm going to follow that line. I apparently make some pretty epic faces while clipping. I think at this point I probably had so much hair in my eyes, nose, mouth, everything. Finally finished. I've done the legs at this point, going up the entire leg with the big clippers, being very careful around any of the bony areas. Around the cornet, which is right above the hoof, I would lift the leg up so that I could access it a little bit better with the big clippers, and of course being careful around the chestnuts as well. And now I'm just going over all of the lines or little missed spots on her. As you can see, she's chewing because at this point she's earning lots of treats. We're almost done here and she's getting a little bit antsy. So we're just keeping this a positive experience. And this is the finished body clip. Any lines that are still left here are going to grow in over the next few days to a week, so it'll look a lot smoother. She is a Welsh cob, so typically does have big feathers on her feet, which were trimmed off. Here is the tail, the triangle. I still need to do her mane, but at least the body clip is done.